Hi everyone, today I'm going to show you how to draw a nice festive poinsettia. So let's get started. I'm going to have my paper go vertically like this, and let's get started with the center part. I'm going to draw some of these kind of circular little centers, and I want them to be kind of irregular. So some of them are going to overlap, some of them are not. I also want this to be kind of in a shape that's not a circle. Alright, so I can't see too many in this picture, so I'm just going to leave it kind of like that. Now I'm finding any of the petals that are in the front. I see I have one that kind of comes out like this in the front. And it's just going to stay just like that. Alright, now there is one that is one of the biggest ones that's coming out in front, and this is a foreshortened petal. So I'm going to have, let's do the center line first, and we're going to have the center line come out about that far, and it's going to come up and around and come to a tip. And this portion, I'm going to go behind a little bit. And it's a nice big thick leaf like that. Now these other ones are not foreshortened, so they're going to be a little longer looking, and I'm going to skip to see which ones are on top. I see this one behind here, and I'm going to come up, and then I'm just going to leave that. Now the next one I see starting from behind here. I'm going to come up and start to turn and give it a little tip. Now the next one is starting from about here, and we're going to go like this, and I'm just going to leave that for a moment, come from behind here and bring this back up to it. Okay, that might be a little bit long, so we're going to erase that little part. There we go. So that's a little thinner. Okay, so now I have these lines hanging out. I want to finish off this petal over here, so I'm going to go about this far up. So you want these to be behind, and you're going to kind of come around like this and let it go right off the page, because this flower is cut off anyway. And then we're going to come right next to this one and start to curve it in and give it a nice long tip like that. I like the way that this poinsettia is set up rather than being so straight, flat out, looking straight at you. Okay, now we're going to start from way up here, and I'm going to come around, let that go, fall right off the page. Fall right off the page. And I see another one that kind of comes from behind it, and this one's going to come right down next to the edge of the page. And actually I'm going to have its tip kind of fall down into this area. And then I'm going to start from back, bring this around, and follow that tip, nice long tip. Okay, now this one is just falling right off the page. That one's behind it. And now I have another one that's kind of longer over here. But let's get this short one in first. So I'm going to start about right here. I'm going to go to a tip. Okay, it's kind of short. And I see one that's right by the side. So I'm going to kind of bring this one out. And this one is going to look kind of flat looking, but it's long. It's a long petal. Watch how I do this part. So in here, let's just kind of finish up this little petal right there. Now I'm going to go underneath. So under here, I'm going to bring this out and just follow it right to the end. We're going to taper. Now I'm going to go over the top here, and I'm going to just bring that up a little bit and then bring it right down to meet, because this is going to be our area that is the tip. I have another petal back here, I'm gonna go up, dip down, and kind of come up out a little less than this one. And then this is gonna come from here, we're gonna start, and then we're just gonna go right into there. I've got one more big petal down here, and this is gonna be the longest one. It's gonna kind of come way down. Okay, so let's just kind of measure how far this is gonna come down. It comes down longer, farther than this one. I'm gonna have it come down to about there. We'll start from here. Give it some space because this is a nice long petal. And you don't have to have super straight lines. I like to have, you know, this one seems to be very straight, although kind of nice to have a little bit of wave to it. All right, so now we've got our poinsettia drawn. Let's draw a couple of leaves, the green that is behind it. So I've got one that's gonna go off the page over here. It's a little skinnier. And there are a few. There's one back here. I'm gonna take this, kind of go like that. And we're gonna bring that big leaf down. There we go. And then another one behind here. And I see that little bend right there. Maybe we'll curl that one, even though it doesn't have a little curl. You can curl it just like that. Okay, and I think we should do one more over here, even though we might not really see it, because that other flower is on top of it. Let's make sure we get something. All right. Bring that curled edge like that. There we go. Okay. So now I have this poinsettia drawn on here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use my felt tip pen on this. So this is a felt tip pen that is water soluble. And I'm going to trace everything with my felt tip pen. So you're going to go ahead and go around and give everything a little black line around it. I'm going to do that and be right back with you. After I finished tracing with my felt tip pen, I used an eraser and just erased off all of my pencil marks as best as I could. There we go. And now I am going to put in the lines that you see on all the petals and on the leaves. So let's start with the leaves. I'm going to come down and I want to get these nice veining in on the leaves. And if you can see, what I did was I actually did kind of make a little wave in some of these because I wanted to make it a little more natural. I think it's a little more natural than when you can see some wave, a little, you know, a little more wave like on the edge of leaves and flowers and things like that. So for this one, I'm just coming down from the center. Okay, and you can kind of skip a little bit. All right, now a little extra. So I'm going to add a little extra of my black felt tip around some of these close areas in the center, because this will be a little darker. And I can add a little bit around those ones that are behind. I'm going to come up a little bit, make my line a little thicker. There we go. Remember that the flower petal on top will cast a shadow on the one that is underneath it. So that is where you're going to have those heavy black lines. They should be on the petals beneath it on the edge. Wow, those lines really help to pop it out. If you'd like to add color, I have a part 2 to this video and show you how to use some water and watercolor on this. It makes it so, so beautiful. I've attached that video in this video above. I hope you've enjoyed drawing this poinsettia with me today. Thanks for watching, subscribe below, and I'll see you next time.